Good afternoon, chess fans. My name is Pavel Voloshin, and today we'll make a broadcast about the match between Moscow Chess Club and Team Milan. Very interesting match. In a few minutes it will start. As for me, I expect a very close match because both teams have a lot of great players. So 30 players in each team, and a lot of them are higher rated. Time control of this tournament is pretty simple. 5 minutes for the game plus 3 seconds per each move. So games can last very long, for about 10-15 minutes, and we'll try to cover as many of them as we can. So 5 seconds to go, and now we are starting. So let's watch this tournament. Let's watch it. Let's watch top games. For example, Kanikov Mikhail against Ricardo Scarpa. d4, d5, c4, Queen's Gambit. Very popular right now. Knight f6, very strange move. Maybe c takes d5 is possible for Mikhail Kanikov. C takes d5. Come on, Mikhail. Is this a very logical move to take pawn on d5 square? Knight c3 is played by Mikhail Kanikov. Also very logical play from him. e6 played by Ricardo. Knight f3, g3 also possible. Bishop g5. Very good play from Mikhail Kanikov in the opening. Bishop e7, some classical variations. Knight f3, castling for black. Seems very logical. h6, attacking bishop on g5. Bishop goes to f4 square. Maybe with some attacks on pawn on c7. Castling for Ricardo. e3 with an idea to move his bishop to d3 square or something like that. So Ricardo is thinking, and he is making move c5. C takes d5 right now. E takes d5, looks very logical. Or maybe just take with knight, but Ricardo decided to take on d5 with pawn. And right now, I believe that Mikhail will play, bishop d3. Then castling. And d takes c5, something like that. So knight goes to c6, and right now I believe Mikhail will take on c5 square. Looks very logical. Rook c1, something strange, but maybe it is okay for Mikhail. Bishop goes to g4 with a pin on knight on f3 square. So serious threat to take on d4, so Mikhail has to take on c5. I believe that he will do it. h3. And what about bishop takes f3? Bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, and c takes d4, something like that. What about that, Mikhail? What were you thinking about? 4 minutes for Mikhail Kanikov. Still a lot of time, but I believe the last move was a blunder. Mikhail decided to take bishop with pawn, but still, what about c takes d4? Looks very logical for Ricciardo, but he decided to play rook e8. Something strange is going on in these games. D takes c5. Bishop will take on c5. I believe that Ricciardo will take on c5, but he's thinking, he took on c5 square. And what to do with your king, Mikhail? Not so easy to understand. Rook g1. With an idea to take pawn on h6. Maybe with some attacking ideas on the king side of the board. What about just king h8? King h8, Ricciardo. Some prophylaxis for you. So, a very strange position of white king in the center. Very dangerous position for Mikhail. But maybe it is okay, not so easy to understand how to attack for Ricciardo. But d4 is a very serious idea, and I believe that Ricciardo is thinking about that, but he decided to play g5. And what about just pawn h4? Pawn h4, why not? Because pawn cannot move anywhere from g5. So Mikhail is thinking, and I believe that, yeah, h4 is played, attacking pawn on g5. I believe that g5 was a serious mistake for Ricciardo, so I believe right now his position is totally lost, because I don't see any counter chances for him, and I don't see how to protect pawn on g5. So Mikhail has some attacking opportunities. 3 minutes left for Ricciardo. And very dangerous position for his king. Knight goes to h7. Well, right now Ricciardo is protecting pawn on g5, but Mikhail took on h7. King takes h7, and I believe that Mikhail will take on g5. Come on, queen d3, also logical. Why not to make a good check? Queen d3, so king has to go somewhere to g8. Well, maybe Mikhail can even take on d5 right now. And I believe that he is calculating such variations, but the most simple decision in this position just to take on g5, and Mikhail is doing that, yeah, just to open king. So h takes g5. And what to do for Ricciardo? Not so easy to find a good way. Not so easy to find a good solution. I believe that h5 is the only opportunity for him. But of course his position will be totally lost even in that case. h5 is played, yeah. Very good from Ricciardo. And right now g6 or knight d5, I believe, was even better with no serious threat. Knight f6, but Mikhail decided to play g6. And what about pawn to f6? Of course, Mikhail's position is totally winning, but he has to play very carefully, because his king also in the center and can be under attack in a few moves. So Ricciardo is thinking. 2 minutes left for him, 3 minutes left for Mikhail, and right now I believe that pawn to f6 is the only opportunity for Ricciardo not to be checkmated. Knight goes to e7, strange move. And what about g takes f7? Yeah, Mikhail is doing that. G takes f7, king will take on f7. And what next move for Mikhail? He needs a plan how to checkmate his opponent. But not so easy to find it, you know. So maybe just knight e2 or something like that. Knight e2, knight b5 with an idea knight d4. Looks very logical, why not? So Mikhail is thinking, he's calculating variations. He has extra pawn. Ricciardo's king is very, very weak. He's under attack, so of course Mikhail's position is totally winning, but not so easy to find a very good way to convert it into a point. No queen g6 idea, because the knight on e7 protects this square. So Mikhail is thinking, he has 2 minutes left to play in this position, and I believe that he will make move something like knight b5 or knight e2. With an idea to put his knight on d4 square in the center. I believe it is the most logical. Of course, Mikhail can make a good check on h7 square, why not? But king will go to e6. And what next? So Mikhail is thinking, is still thinking. He even has less time than his opponent right now. Mikhail has to play faster in this game or he will lose on time. So, Mikhail. Bishop goes to g5. What about rook g8? Rook g8. Come on, Ricciardo. So, rook g8 is the most logical for you. And what to do for Mikhail? Maybe just even king e2 on the next move. King goes to e6. Wow. Something strange, but maybe it is okay for Ricciardo. But his king is too weak. Maybe, you know, knight e4 is a possible idea right now, but Mikhail decided to take knight on e7. Who will take on e7? I believe that maybe bishop. Yeah, Ricciardo took with bishop on e7. Rook g6 or something like that is possible. Or maybe just knight e2, knight b5. Knight b5 looks very good, but Mikhail decided to play rook g6. Very good from him. Because how to protect? Maybe just bishop f6. Yeah, the only opportunity not to lose immediately for Ricciardo. And what now? Maybe just knight d5 idea, something like that. Or maybe knight e2, knight b5 is still possible. But both players are going into serious time troubles. So Mikhail has to play faster. Rook takes f6. King takes f6. Knight takes d5. Nice sacrifice from Mikhail, but what about king f7? Queen will go to f5. King will go to g7 or to g8. So very interesting play. Of course, Mikhail's position is totally winning, but how to win it? Knight goes to f6. Fork on king and the rook. 40 seconds left for both players. King goes to back to f7. And what next move for Mikhail? Maybe rook c7. Rook c7, queen c7, and knight d5. Discovered check. Why not? Mikhail, come on, let's play faster. Just 15 seconds left for Mikhail. Knight goes to d5 right now. Okay, but king will go back to g8 or yeah, to g7. But what about rook c7? Rook c7, yeah. And the game is all over. Rook goes to e7, but rook takes e7, and it's all over for Ricciardo. Nice defense, but of course he and right now queen h7 and queen g6, and on the next move queen g7 with checkmate. So g5 was a serious mistake for Ricciardo when he moved g5 after g1. So let's watch another game. Well, Kalaverin. Why not to watch the game of these young and talented players? He is playing against Pietro Balabio. Nikolai is playing knight d5. And maybe he's just... Well, queen g5 was an interesting idea because right now Nikolai cannot take on c7 because of queen c5, double attack. Maybe just king h1? Come on, Nikolai, let's play a little bit faster. Oh, queen d4, why not? Very good play from Nikolai. And right now, knight f6 is a serious threat. And how to protect against this idea. So rook goes to e6, and I believe that Nikolai will take on c7 square. Yeah, he took on c7, and rook g6 will be played by Pietro. Yeah, serious threat to checkmate on g2. So rook f2, and rook goes to c8 maybe. No, bishop goes to h3. Wow. Very interesting attack from Pietro, but what about maybe queen d5 just to exchange queens? But I believe that Nikolai is calculating knight a8. But I believe that queen d5 is possible, and it looks very logical. But Nikolai decided to take on a8 square, and right now, what about bishop g2? Bishop g2 is the only opportunity for Pietro, yeah. Very serious counterplay, and right now, well, queen d5 right now, also possible. Looks like that. So I believe that Nikolai is winning in this position. He's trying to exchange queens and extra rook for young Russian player. So what Pietro can do? He has 2 minutes left, but totally lost position. Unfortunately, of course, for him. And queen cannot go anywhere because rook will take on g2. So Pietro decided to take on f3 and exchanging of queens. So maybe there are some possible counter chances because there are some pawns for the rook, but just 2 pawns. So I believe that, well, interesting. And with rook c5, but knight goes to e8 square with a serious threat to take on d6 and to move knight f6, something like that. Whoa. So Pietro is thinking, and I believe that the game is all over because I don't know how to protect against both these ideas. So king f8, but Nikolai will take on d6. So Nikolai is winning. Yeah. Very good win for our young talented player. So Nikolai has extra rook and totally winning position. Pietro is thinking, but I don't know what he's thinking about because he has no counter chances, unfortunately for him. 1 minute left for Pietro. Maybe he is thinking about resignation of this game. But what about... I don't know what to do for Pietro because 2 serious threats to put knight on f6 and to put knight on d6. So I believe rook c2 is played, and what about rook c1? Rook c1, rook c1 is a blunder. Rook c1 is a blunder because bishop will go to d3. So I believe that Nikolai will take pawn on d6. No, he took pawn on f4, also possible. Bishop goes to d3 square, king goes to g1. So some counter chances for Pietro, but not very serious. Just extra rook for Nikolai. Too much extra material. So bishop goes to f5. What about knight d6? Rook g1 also was possible. h4 is played by Nikolai. He's trying to attack this rook, and Pietro resigned. Very good win from Nikolai Averin. So let's watch the game between Giovanni Maria and Leonid Kretov. Giovanni Maria, very experienced player in team Milan. Leonid Kretov also very experienced player in team Moscow. So French defense, some classical variations. So bishop goes to b5, but queen goes to b6, and Leonid is asking Maria some questions. What she will do with her bishop on b5? Right now it is under attack. So I believe that Maria will play queen a4, or maybe just she will take on c6 square, something like that. So Maria is thinking. Yeah, she took on c6, and Leonid took with queen, very interesting. Okay, bishop goes to e7, preparing castling. So I believe that everything is okay for black right now in this position. Maybe, oh, well, b6, why not? What about b6 with an idea to play bishop a6 on the next move? a5 also very logical. Yeah, Leonid, I believe that has an advantage here. Has some initiative. a4 is played by Leonid. He is attacking knight on b3. So I believe that Maria could take on c5. Knight on d2 is too passive. Castling for Leonid. So, what a plan for Giovanni Maria. She needs a plan. I believe that some classical plan in this position is to play something like bishop g5 or knight g5 with some attacking ideas on the king side, because right now Maria played b3 and immediately b5 played by Leonid Kretov. So, very good attacking opportunities on the queen side of the board for black. Leonid, of course, understands that. B4, what about c takes b4? C takes b4 and bishop takes b4. Rook c1. So, was b4 a sacrifice or just a blunder? I believe it was just a blunder. Unfortunately for Maria. Queen c2 and bishop goes to a6. Everything is okay right now for Leonid. The next move will be rook c8. So Maria is thinking, she's trying to find some counter chances, and maybe right now knight g5 can be played. Come on, Maria. This is the only opportunity to make some counter play right now. But queen goes to c7. Wow. What about rook d8? So Leonid, come on, let's play rook d8 or something like that. But rook c6 will be played, so rook a7, yeah, rook a7 is even better. So Leonid is attacking Maria's queen, and she has to decide what to do with it. Maybe just to go back to c2. No, she decided to exchange queens, and without queens there are no chances, I believe, in this position. Rook goes to c6, but what about just knight c4? Yeah, knight c4 is played by Leonid. He is a very technical player. Exchanging of knights on c4. D takes c4 or b takes c4. D takes c4 is played by Leonid Kretov. Okay. Very interesting. Play from him. d5. Wow. Discovered attack on rook on a7. So maybe it's not all over yet. Rook a8 is the only opportunity, I believe, for Leonid. So yeah, he played. He's playing really fast. Just 20 seconds gone in his time. d6, yeah, very strong pawn on d6 square, but I believe that 3 pawns on the queen side are even stronger for Leonid. Maybe right now something like bishop b7 is possible, but rook b6 would be played on right there. So bishop a5 right now, and I believe that Leonid is preparing something like bishop b7, attacking rook on c6 square. So Maria is thinking rook d1, and I believe that bishop b7 is the best opportunity for Leonid to ask questions where to go with your rook. But maybe rook c5 will be played, yeah? Rook c5. Maybe it's not all over yet, and right now b4, b3, yeah. Also very logical for Leonid. Extra pawn, 2 bishops. Everything is okay and totally winning position, I believe. But the only counter chance is d pawn on for Maria. So she has to do something with it. But what exactly to do? So easy to answer this question. So 2 minutes left for Giovanni Maria. She's trying to find some counterplay. Maybe d7 is the only opportunity. But she decided to play knight d4. What about just b3? b3 is played by Leonid, yeah. Very good. A takes b3. C takes b3, I believe. Or A takes b3. C takes b3, yeah. Okay. So, very serious threats. Pawns on a4 and b3 are very strong. 4 minutes left for Leonid, totally winning position. So, I believe that he will easily win this game in a few moves. So, b3 was the last, C takes b3 was the last move. And what to do for Maria? What advice we can give? I believe there are no counter chances. I don't know how even to make some attack on something. Rook b1. Okay, but what about bishop d3? Yeah, bishop d3. Come on, Leonid. Just bishop d3. Bishop d3, trying to attack rook on b1 square. Why not? But Leonid decided to think about it. So, or maybe he will just play rook c8 or something like that. But I believe rook c8 is not the best possible move. So Leonid has to play bishop d3, of course. And I believe he will do it. But Leonid is thinking, yeah, bishop d3 is played. So, what to do for Maria? Rook b2. Maybe it is the only opportunity, yeah. Because rook d1, b2 will be played with a serious threat b1 queen. So, yeah, rook b2. And what about a3? a3, rook b3, a2, something like that. Yeah, a3 is played by Leonid. So, rook takes b3, a2, rook a3 or rook c1? I believe rook c1 will be played. Come on, Maria, let's play rook c1, but rook a3, no, because bishop goes to anywhere, to c3, to d2, to b4, somewhere, and everything is okay. Bishop c3, wonderful play by Leonid Kretov. But what about rook takes c3 from c6? Yeah, a1 queen, rook takes on a1, and rook c1. So maybe not very technical decision was made for Leonid Kretov. So now, right now, Giovanni Maria has some counter chances. Pawn on d6 is very strong. How to... Well, rook a8 is a very good move, yeah. g3, rook will take. Yeah, rook will take on c1. Or just bishop goes to e4. I believe g3 is not the best possible move. Because Maria is putting her pawns on dark squares. King f8 is played by Leonid. King g2, yeah. So, rook c1, bishop c1, king e8. So, now let's watch how Leonid will convert this position into a point. Very interesting. Bishop e3. So, how to win this position? Very strong pawn on d6, very strong pawn on e5, f3 right now. f3, rook a2 will be played. How do you think? Yeah, rook a2, but what about just king h3? King h3. Come on, Maria, don't be scared. Bishop f2 also possible. Right now, bishop is under attack. King f1, Very passive play from Maria, and I believe that f4. So looks very beautiful, of course, for Maria, but I believe it is not the best possible pawn structure for her, because yeah, f6, so king e1, but I don't see any plan for Maria. She has just 13 seconds. Rook a1, king d2, and what about rook h1? Yeah, rook h1 just to attack pawn on h2. Yeah, rook h1 is played by Leonid Kretov. h4, okay. So what next? What your next plan will be, Leonid? Let's show us. 2 minutes left. h5, king goes to e3. So position, of course, is lost for Giovanni Maria, but how to win this position exactly? Not so easy to understand, because her position is very solid. Knight goes back to e2, but what about rook a3? Rook a3, yeah. King d2. And what next, Leonid? What your next plan is? Maybe just, yeah, rook a4. What about why rook a4? Don't understand this move, but okay. Right now, knight goes to c3 and fork on bishop and rook. So maybe rook a4 was not very good. Rook a5. Well, of course, it was a mistake to take, and right now f takes e5, and everything is all over. What a pity for Giovanni Maria. Yeah, everything is all over. So now let's watch how Leonid will win this position. Bishop e5, so everything is all over right now. Extra rook for Leonid, and Maria decided to resign. Well, wonderful checkmate. We can see on board. Let's watch some interesting games. Well, something interesting. Luca Trapani against Georgi Vdovin. So extra pawn, as far as I'm concerned, for Luca Trapani, but some activity for Georgi. c6 is not the best possible move, I believe, because bishop can move to b4 somewhere, but Georgi decided to exchange pawns and move his bishop to e6 square. Now there are some threats of discovered attack. So Luca Trapani, very experienced player. He's 15 years old, almost 15 years old. So that Georgi Vdovin also is, as far as I remember, yeah, he is also 15 years old. Both players are very experienced. So bishop goes to b4. Yeah, is played by Georgi Vdovin. So king f1 is the only opportunity for Luca Trapani. Don't waste time. Yeah, king f1 is played. So what next move for Georgi? Castling maybe, or king e7? What do you think? I believe that castling will be played. Just the idea is just to include rook on h8 into the game, but Georgi decided to play rook a1. So rook a1, maybe something like knight c3 is a very serious threat, yeah. And how to protect against knight c3? So Luca, let's answer these questions. Rook d4. Okay, nice try. What about bishop c3? Yeah, or bishop c5? Yeah, bishop c5 is played by Georgi. Looks very logical. He is just attacking rook on d4 square. So Luca has to do something. Where to go with his rook? Rook goes to d2 or something like that. Rook. There are no more squares, good squares. So maybe rook d3 also is possible. Yeah, rook d3. But I believe that Luca will play rook d2. It is the most logical. So Luca, just don't waste a lot of time in this position because you need it further. So, but Luca is thinking. What he's thinking about? He's trying to calculate something. Not so easy to understand what exactly he's calculating because his rook is under attack right now. So he has to go back. Yeah, rook d2 is played, but why he wasted so much time on this move? So, what a plan for Georgi? Yeah, castling. Just the idea is very simple. Just to include one more rook into the game. So, let's say that Luca is still has one extra pawn, but very solid compensation for Georgi Vdovin. So maybe knight d4 right now. Knight goes back to e1. Very interesting, yeah. Both knights on the first line, rook on d2, king on f1. So all pieces of Luca Trapani are on the first and second rank. Very beautiful, but not very strong. Beautiful, but not very strong. So yeah, bishop goes to b4, very logical. And where to go with rook? So rook will go to d4, maybe, yeah? Well, interesting. But what about rook c1? So rook c1, knight will take on b4. So maybe it was a wonderful defense from Luca Trapani. Knight c2. Yeah, but Georgi took on d2, knight takes on a1. So still extra pawn for white, but Georgi decided to play knight b4, and I believe that on next move he will play knight goes to c6. So Luca is thinking how to protect this position. I believe that he will play something like f3, but you know, there is a serious threat. Yeah, rook a8 was a serious threat. So right now Luca is preparing move knight c2. So this was the main idea of his last move. But I believe, yeah, Georgi played rook a8. Knight will go to c2. And what next? So knight has to go to c2. I don't see any other opportunities. Yeah, less than a minute for Luca Trapani. Less than 2 minutes for Georgi Vdovin. He has very good chances to win this position. So, what will Georgi do in this case? Just take on c2 or take on, yeah, he took on c2, knight takes c2, bishop f5 with some serious threats. Yeah, and right now bishop can take on c2, bishop takes c2, and rook a1. So, Georgi, come on, let's do that. You know, it is even better. Bishop d3, attacking king on f1. King has only moved to g1. Well, it would be checkmate right now. Beautiful, beautiful play from Georgi Vdovin. So now he took on c2 and it's all over. So very solid play from Georgi, very good win from him. And unfortunately, Luca cannot defend this position right now. So I believe that he will resign right now because he is white offers draw. Very funny. Black declines draw. So yeah, Georgi won this game. So let's watch, well, Julio Rausa against Sviatoslav Vernev. Very good position for both sides. Very slow play incoming right now. So knight goes to c5 with an idea maybe to play knight e6, e4, yeah, e4 maybe is a nice try for Sviatoslav Zherdev. And what to do for Julio Rausa? Julio is one of the most experienced players in Team Milan. Yeah, he is 17-year old, very experienced player. So knight takes e4, queen goes to c2. Will Sviatoslav play bishop f5 right now, or he will make another move? You know, there are a lot of opportunities how to play in this position. Bishop f5 or maybe bishop b2 and then queen f6. Yeah, bishop f5 is played by Sviatoslav Zherdev, so now there are some opportunities of discovered attack. So, but what exactly? How to protect? Knight g3 is a very serious threat. So Julio decided to take on g7, and Sviatoslav, I believe, is trying to calculate knight g3. Knight g3, let's calculate with him. Queen goes to b2, and what next? Knight will take on f1. So I believe that Sviatoslav has just to take on g7. Yeah, he decided to do that. Knight goes to d4 with some exchanging ideas. Knight d4 is a very good move. So now there are some problems for Sviatoslav with his next move. Well, looks like knight d4 was a blunder. Yeah, because Sviatoslav, yeah, made a wonderful chess tactics. He took on g3, and right now queen on c2 is under attack on bishop on f5 square. So, and if knight will take on f5, knight will take on f5 back. So just extra pawn for Sviatoslav. But what about queen b2? Yeah, queen b2 and some serious threats for on diagonal a1 h8. So right now knight on g3 is under attack. And you know, maybe it was just a blunder to take on g3, and how to protect against this idea, Sviatoslav. Well, looks like Sviatoslav has very serious problems right now in this position. I don't see any opportunities how to escape with knight and to prevent some discovered ideas on this dark square diagonal. So Sviatoslav is trying to find a way to do it, but I will believe that he will not find the solution, because there is no solution in this position. So 3 minutes left for him, and he has very serious problems. I believe that he will knight down. So let's just wait for his move. Sviatoslav is still trying to find a way, but what to do? What can he do right now in this position? Queen goes to f6, okay, but right now, well, you know, f can take on, yeah, f can take on g3. So I believe that Julio will do it. H takes on g3, also possible. So right now knight f5 is a very serious threat, so maybe Svetoslav can play bishop d3, yeah. And what about rook d1? Rook d1 is the most logical for Julio. So I expect this move. Bishop d3, attacking rook on f1. Rook on f1 is under attack right now, so Julio has to do something with it, of course. Also c5 is a very serious threat, so just counter-attack. So yeah, rook d1 is played by Julio. Very good. So now, yeah, bishop has to go back to e4 square. And what next move for for Julio? I believe that, yeah, queen d2 looks very logical. And I believe that Svetoslav has to resign because he has down material. Extra knight for Julio, for just for one pawn. Not enough. So 2 minutes left for Svetoslav Zherdev. What counterplay can he find? Maybe something like c5 or something like that. h5. Maybe h5 is the only opportunity to make some counterplay. So personally, I expect h5. But Svetoslav decided to exchange bishops, and right now h5. Okay. Knight goes to f3. Just protecting everything. Rook goes to e4, preventing queen d4. But what about queen d5? Yeah. Queen d5, or maybe, you know, rook c1. Rook c1 also looks very logical because rook c1 is preparing queen c3, exchanging of queens. So I believe that Julio can do that right now. Rook c1, why not? But queen decided to go to d5 right now. Queen goes to d5 with a lot of attacks on rook on e4, on pawn on b7, pawn on a5. They all are under attack. So rook goes to e8 square and queen goes to g5. So Julio is trying to exchange queens. What about queen e6? Okay, queen b2. Also possible. Nice try from Svetoslav. You know, now Julio has some problems. I believe that king g1 looks very logical. Just king g1, preventing rook e3. So Julio is thinking. He has 20 extra seconds. So, what he's thinking? What he's thinking about? Rook e1. It is a prophylaxis. He's just trying to protect pawn on e3 square. Yeah. Now what can Svetoslav do? f6. Yeah, f6. Queen takes a5. So maybe next queen d2 is a very logical idea. Of course, Julio's position is totally winning, and right now, rook e3. Not very simple move. But I believe that rook can take on e3, rook e3, queen d2. But Julio decided to play king queen c7 right now. King h6, and what next? Julio, but maybe there are no serious threats yet in this position. Rook f1. So exchanging of rooks and rook f1, just trying to protect everything. Queen goes to e2. Very interesting. But what about queen b7? Yeah, queen b7. Julio is trying to eat as many pawns as he can and to protect knight on f3 square. h4 and just knight can take. Or maybe, you know, rook h1. But Julio decided to take pawn on h4 with knight. So, what next? Svetoslav, come on, let's find some counterplay, yeah? You know, maybe f5, f5 and rook g3, something like that is possible. So, come on, Svetoslav, don't be scared. No, he decided to resign on this position. I believe that f5 was the last opportunity to make some counterplay. But Svetoslav decided to resign, okay. Let's watch some other games. Oh, so something interesting I would like to find for you. Well, what about this one? Lidja Gajurov against Giovanni Maria. Last move was knight f4 by Lidja Gajurov. So now, right now, he's trying to attack bishop on g6, exchanging on g6, and rook will take on c6. No, he decided just to play b3. Very fast, very logical play from Lidja Gajurov because pawns on c line are very weak. So queen goes to d7 and queen will go to c2. Yeah. So right now queen is attacking on c6 pawn, and how to protect it? Very good question to Maria. So I believe that everything is okay for Lidja Gajurov. He will win a pawn right now. Yeah, queen goes to c6. Exchanging of queens is possible right now. Rook c8 and exchanging of queens. Yeah. Rook will take on d7. I believe it is the only opportunity. So knight takes on d7. Maybe e6. What do you think about e6? Rook goes to c6. Okay, also nice try from Lidja Gajurov. Knight goes to f8. Rook c1, just attacking pawn on c7, but knight on e6 is very good for Giovanni Maria. Knight on e6 is very good. He is attacking pawn on d4 and protecting pawn on c7. So nice try from Maria. King f1, king f8. So both kings are going into center. So maybe just g3 and then king e2. Yeah. So what about knight f4? What about knight f4 Lidji? King d2 will be played. I believe that king d3 is not the best possible decision. Rook d7. And right now, what about knight f8? Knight f4. Why rook b8? Why not rook b? Why rook b8? Why exactly? And not knight f4. I don't understand why. g3, yeah, good prophylaxis from knight f4 from Lidja. So right now he has extra pawn and very good winning chances. Now rook goes to b4 and the only move is knight f3, yeah, to protect pawn on d4 square. So what next? For Giovanni Maria, she has 1 minute left right now. So what can she do? a5 with an idea to exchange as many pawns as she can. So maybe rook a6. Just rook a6. Why not? Rook a6 looks very logical because rook on a6 will attack pawn on a5. So it is an active prophylaxis. So I don't know what about Li Ji is thinking. Rook a6 looks very logical, and I don't know what he's trying to do. So Li Ji is thinking, what about? He's wasting a lot of time. He's wasting a lot of time, and it's not very good for him. So rook a6 is played. Yeah, finally. Finally, rook goes to b5. Maria is trying to protect pawn on a5 square with rook. So what about rook c3 and a4? Yeah, I believe rook c3, the main idea is to protect pawn on b3 and then to play pawn to a4 to attack rook on b5. So pawn goes to c5. Active counterplay for Maria. a4 is played. And what next move for Li Ji? For Maria, because her rook is under attack, so she has to move it somewhere, maybe to b4, or maybe c takes d4. Yeah, but what about knight takes d4, and maybe even knight c5 is possible. What do you think? But Maria decided to play rook b4, and it is a serious blunder because yeah, knight goes to c6, fork on king and rook, and everything is all over. Maria decided to resign, not to continue this game. Well, why not to watch this game? For example, very interesting. Let's watch this one. Alexander Chervini against Leonid Kretov. Very interesting structure. So one more French defense for Leonid Kretov. g6 is played. So knight goes to f3 square. Queen goes to b6. Maybe some attacking on pawn on d4. So maybe just what? Queen f2? Why not? Queen f2 looks very logical. And next idea is g4, f5. So I believe white position is slightly better because bishop on a4 is very strange piece. Knight on c4 is very active, but no more. So Alessandro decided to play g4 immediately without queen f2. Also very logical. Why not? So right now bishop goes to e7, f5, and I believe that Leonid will take on h4 and then take on d4. Yeah, so maybe f5 was a blunder for Alessandro. So knight takes on h4, knight takes on d4, attacking queen. So I believe queen f2 is the only opportunity for Alessandro. Come on, Alessandro, queen f2. Queen f2, why not? So no, he decided to exchange. But it is not very good for him right now. So f5, g takes f5. So, you know, Alessandro cannot even take on f5 with pawn because knight on h4 will be under attack. So maybe there are some chances after bishop f5 or knight f5. Maybe something like that Alessandro should try. But of course, Leonid's position is totally winning. And let's say that he's also playing very fast. So Leonid is very good on chess blitz. Alessandro is playing slowlier, and his position is worse. So I believe that Leonid will win this game, but how exactly? So Alessandro is thinking that maybe the only opportunity is knight f5 or something like that, because pawn cannot take on f5 right now because of knight on h4. So knight on h4. Knight goes to f3, but what about queen g4? Come on, Leonid. Don't be scared. Let's take it. Queen g4. Queen is under attack. Just to go out of it and take one more pawn. So how many extra pawns for Leonid Kretov right now? I believe that he has 2 extra pawns right now, and after queen g4 it will be even more for him. So knight g4, rook g1, knight goes to h5, rook g5, some active counterplay for Alessandro, and rook g1, yeah, double rooks on g line. So king e7, 1 minute left for Alessandro, and I believe he's preparing some attacks. So right now he's preparing bishop f5. So I believe that Leonid is in danger right now. He has a lot of extra pawns, but Alessandro has active pieces. So not so easy to win this position for Leonid. And let's watch how he will do it. Very interesting, and not so easy even to give him a good advice. Right now, you know, maybe rook h5 also is a threat, or something like that. So, what to do for Leonid? Bishop on a4 is out of play, so it's not very good for Leonid Kretov, and it should go back, but Leonid decided to play queen h4, attacking knight on d4. So what will Alessandro do? He has just 45 seconds left. He has good counter chances, but not very much time on the clock. So just 30 seconds. Alessandro has to play faster, or he will lose on time. Knight goes back to f3, so queen will go to f4 with some idea to play queen e3. Or maybe queen e3 is not a very serious threat because of bishop c4, so rook goes to g7, queen e3, and right now bishop c4. Alessandro, bishop c4. Why queen f1? Bishop c4, and everything was okay for Alessandro, but he made a mistake. So right now, Leonid, how you will defend this position? Knight takes on e5, one more extra pawn for Leonid. And what next? Knight takes on e5, queen takes e5, bishop takes b5. No, I believe that it was not the best possible decision, because right now Leonid can exchange very bad bishop on e4 square. But firstly, he decided to play queen e4 check. So queen maybe should go to g2, but queen should rook goes to g2, exchanging of bishops. So Alessandro decided not to continue this game. He also resigned. Let's watch next. Let's watch next one. Maybe something like, let's watch something interesting. Giulio Simeone against Khachaturian Marietta. So last move was for Marietta was bishop c2. She took pawn on c2. So right now she has, no, she does not have extra pawn. I believe her position is in very serious danger. So knight on h5 is very good. So very strange position. You know, there is a beautiful move right now, something like bishop f6. Bishop f6 is a beautiful move for Giulio. And how to defend against it, not so easy to understand. But Giulio decided to play queen a4 with some ideas to put pressure on knight on c6. So, what can Marietta do? How to protect it? How to defend against all these ideas? I believe that bishop on f6. Very beautiful move for Giulio. Queen goes to c7. And what next for Giulio? f4 or something like that, yeah? So, I believe that if f4 will be played, Giulio has to play bishop takes on e7. Very strange move, but maybe it is okay right now. King goes to f8 and after check, and I believe that right now Marietta is okay. Marietta should be okay in this position because white king is under attack, so it has to go somewhere. And where exactly? No, Giulio decided to cover his king with bishop e2, but I believe that Marietta is absolutely okay in this position. So her king is in safety while white's king is in danger. So good play from Marietta. Good, very active play. Knight goes to d4 square with some serious threats to exchange bishop on e2 and then bishop d3. So very serious threat, and how to protect against this idea. Maybe just knight from h5 should go back. No, Giulio decided to play in romantic chess. So he decided to play rook h3. Maybe, you know, it is a very interesting idea because rook on next move can go to e3 square. So rook h3, yeah, very nice try from Italian player. So rook h3, knight takes on e2. What next? Knight e2, yeah, is the only opportunity. Or rook e3 will be played by Giulio. How do you think? So maybe Giulio is trying to calculate some variations after rook e3. But what exactly she's trying to calculate? Because I believe that knight e2 is simpler. Yeah, simpler. But right now, will Marietta take on b2? I believe that she will. I believe that she will. And we'll see a fascinating game in few moves. So Marietta is thinking, take or not take on b2. So what other moves are possible for her? Maybe just bishop g6? Just bishop g6 is possible. Trying to exchange very good knight on h5 square. So Marietta decided to take on b2. It is the most principled decision in this position. So right now she's pawn up. And very serious threats. What about rook b3? Rook b3, I believe, is possible for Giulio, and then bishop rook b7. Rook c7, also nice try, but I believe that rook b3 and rook b7 was better. So just 2 minutes left for Giulio Simeone, 3 minutes left for Khachaturian Marietta. Still a lot of time in this position. So, how to defend? Marietta, let's answer this question. I believe that she will play bishop g6. Bishop g6 looks very logical. And I believe it's the easiest way. Or there is an opportunity to exchange queens right now. Queen b4. Queen b4. Marietta, come on, let's do it. Also nice try. When you are pawn up, you have to exchange as many pieces as you can. So I believe that exchanging of queens by queen b4 looks very logical, looks very principled, and it is the best opportunity in this position. So 2 minutes left for Marietta, but she's trying to calculate some variations. Maybe she's trying to find something else. But what exactly? So, Marietta, come on, let's play faster, because no, she decided to play bishop b4. And what after king f1? What after king f1? So yeah, king f1 is played. And what next move for Marietta? Not so easy to find a good one. Maybe just bishop d6 or queen b1. How do you think? What should be played in this position by Marietta? I believe that she will play queen b1. Queen b1, and she will make this check. So Marietta is still thinking, and I don't know what she's thinking about, but she decided to play my first move, bishop d6, trying to attack rook on c7 square. So I believe that right now rook will go back, maybe to c3, or maybe just to c1. No, maybe to c1 is even better. Rook b3. Wow, wonderful counterplay from Italian player. So right now queen on b2 is under attack, but and on queen a1 rook c1 is possible. So maybe Giulio is okay here. So very interesting game. Very interesting game. And not so easy to make some predictions even in this position. Well, queen goes to d2, and what about what? So bishop d3 is a serious threat for white, but rook on c7 is under attack. So of course, Giulio has to do something with that. What exactly? Rook c1? Rook c1 and rook e1 just to protect knight on e2, or maybe something like that. Giulio Simeone. Yeah, it is. He is also a very experienced player. Also 17-year-old, one of the most experienced players in team Milan. So less than 30 seconds, and the rook goes back to c1, as I already mentioned. And I believe that bishop d3 will be played by Marietta. Yeah, bishop d3, and right now knight on e2 is under very serious attack. So what to do? Rook e1 and b5. Queen a6 is the only opportunity. What next? Right now bishop on d6 is under attack, so Marietta has to do something with that. What exactly? Bishop goes back to e7 square. What next move? Oh, I believe that Marietta's position is totally winning. Right now bishop on d3 is under attack. Marietta. And what about your bishop on d3? Rook d3, yeah. Well, queen b7, but also possible. Bishop takes on e2, rook e2, and what next? Queen is under attack. Queen goes to c1, rook e1, rook h1, or maybe queen c4. Queen goes to c4, yeah. Is played by Marietta. Rook goes to d3 and just rook c8. Rook e8 also, nice try. King goes to g2, rook g4, and it's all over because the knight on f2 is out of game right now. So Marietta is playing very fast, very good. Rook f3, queen e4, and yeah. So Giulio has to resign in this game. Yeah, he's doing that right now. So congratulations to Marietta. Maybe it, it is even a very good candidate for the game of the day. Let's watch this one. AVK, Artem Knyazev, one of the strongest players in Moscow chess team. So the last move was queen d4, and right now pawn on g7 is under attack. So f6 is played by Pietro Balabio. We already saw some his games. Rook goes to d1. What next? Knight goes to e7, c4, very serious idea, c5, 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 Pietro, what are you doing? Why not c5 from your side? So Artyom decided to play c5, and I believe it is a very good decision because bishop cannot go anywhere right now. So bishop h2, exchanging of rooks, and easy win for Artyom Knyazev. So I believe that we should switch to another game because nothing interesting will happen in this game as far as I'm concerned. So let's move to another games. Maybe something more interesting we can see. So very interesting. Luca Trapani against Demyan Shevtsov. Let's watch this one. I believe that Demyan blundered something because he is bishop down. So it's all over for him as far as I'm concerned. So extra bishop for Luca Trapani, and let's watch how he will win this game. Very interesting. Maybe we'll see the first win of our Italian opponents. Why not? I believe that King d1 also very nice try. Castling for Demyan, but d4 will be played. So I believe that Demyan has to resign in this game. Or maybe knight g4 is the only opportunity, yeah, but knight can go to h3 and protect pawn, yeah, on f2. So Luca Trapani is playing very good. He is protecting almost everything. So castling and d4. I believe that d4 should be played. d4, yeah, Luca Trapani is playing very, very good. So 4 minutes left for both players. Demyan has less time, totally lost position, so I believe that he will resign in a few moves. Or we will switch to another game. I believe that maybe d4 is even the last move in this position. So Demyan is thinking. Bishop a4, what about b3? Yeah. So everything is under attack for Demyan, so I believe that he has to resign this game right now because he has no counter chances. Bishop is under attack, knight on c5 is under attack, everything is bad for Demyan, so I believe that he will lose this game and maybe even he will resign right now. So, well, some counterplay. Wow. Rook goes to e8 and then queen will go to e1. But maybe there's very simple defense. Maybe just bishop d2. But Luca decided to take on c5. So now queen will go to e1 square. Come on, Demyan. Let's find some counter chances there. King goes to c2. Okay, and what next? Take on f2? Because I don't see any other opportunities. Or maybe there is an opportunity to play bishop d7 and then bishop f5, but Demyan took on f2. So, what next for Luca Trapani? Bishop b2, wonderful. Wonderful play, and right now queen on e1 is under attack. It has to go somewhere. So, no hope for Demyan Shevtsov. Less and less time in our match, just 10 minutes before it ends. So bishop b2 is a very good move, of course, by Luca Trapani. So queen goes to e5, and then right now Luca can just take on f2. Yeah, so everything is under attack, still is under attack. So, and queen f5, knight d3 should be played. So I believe that knight d3 should be the last move in this game. And I believe that Demyan will resign finally. So he has totally lost position. So Demyan, come on, let's resign and play one more game in this tournament. Just don't waste your time, just don't waste your chances. Bishop goes to d7, and right now bishop will go to e2. So now we'll see a very slow play from both players and very technical move from Luca Trapani. He is trying to exchange queens. Why not? Very logical decision. If you have extra material, try to exchange as many pieces as you can. So, well, and bishop d3, and it's all over. Exchanging of bishops and rook d8. Everything is all over in this game. Let's watch few moves. 3 extra pieces for Luca Trapani. Everything is okay. Let's switch to another game. To which game we should go? Maybe something like that. Let's watch this one. Giovanni Maria against Voronin Nikita. So, Maria. She has extra pawn on the c5 square. I believe something like a lapping variation was in the opening. So, bishop goes to e3. And right now knight goes to d5, one of the most classical variations in this system. No, long castling for Nikita Voronin. So very good initiative for black, for the sacrificed pawn. Well, I believe that it is the best time to play knight d5. Come on, Nikita, let's do it. It is the best opportunity right now. So, Nikita, come on, don't waste your time. Just knight d5. Yeah, knight d5 is played. The idea is very simple. Exchange bishop on e3, which protects pawn on c5 square, and then take pawn on c5 with bishop. Pretty simple. I believe that bishop d4 will be played. Yeah, bishop d4 looks very logical. But bishop d4, knight can take on d4, yeah? But bishop d4 is played, and I believe that Nikita will play either knight d4 on or bishop f3, something like that will be played. Some exchanging ideas. So everything is okay, of course, for Nikita Voronin in this position in both cases, but I believe that knight takes d4 is better, so Nikita decided to play bishop takes f3, bishop f3, and what next, Nikita? e5. And what about bishop d5? Bishop d5. Well, strange move from Maria. Bishop e3 is a very weak move. Now pawn on e3 after this exchange is very weak. So Nikita, I believe, is better in this position. So king goes to f2, trying to protect pawn. Well, what next? f5. How do you think f5 will be played by Nikita Voronin? Looks very logical with a serious threat e4. So I expect f5. f6 is played by Nikita. Okay, also nice try, of course. I believe that rook d1 will be played by Giovanni Maria. Rook d1. So the first thing Maria has to do, the first rule in defense, is trying to exchange as many active pieces of your opponent as you can. It makes your defense easier. So now rook d1 is not possible because rook d1, king d1, and rook bishop e3. So knight goes to d2. Very nice. And knight goes to c4 or maybe to even e4. Right now knight e4 is a very serious threat. And what about knight e4, Nikita? Knight e4 with a fork, and maybe it was just a blunder by Nikita Voronin. How do you think? Because of course rook d5 is possible, but what about pawn to c4? Pawn to c4 and everything is all over. So Maria, come on, let's play pawn c4, attacking. Yeah, she's doing that. She's doing that. She's attacking rook on d5 square, which protects bishop on c5. So what opportunities do Nikita have? It's so easy to find a good one because rook has to go somewhere and bishop on c5 will fall. So maybe it was just a blunder, of course, on the previous move. Well, rook goes to d3. Now, yeah, Maria took on c5, rook d2, king goes to e1 square. It is the only opportunity. Rook will take on b2. No. Well, very interesting play from Nikita. He found very nice counter play. Right now, knight c2 is a very serious threat because it would be a checkmate. So what can Maria do? As far as I'm concerned, maybe bishop d1 or bishop e4 is the only opportunity to prevent knight c2. So great play from Nikita. He's trying to find counter chances. So great honor for him. So Maria, come on, bishop e4. Yeah, bishop e4 is played. So Maria found this move. Congratulations to her. So right now, what can Nikita do in this position? How can he make some counter play? b6, something like that, or g6 f5. g6 f5 is not possible. Rook will take on f6. So right now, bishop e4. Everything is okay for Maria. I believe she is winning, but there are some possible counter chances for Nikita Voronin. So, but what chances here we are trying to find, but it's not very easy to do it in this position. Maybe just he should take on b2 with some counter chances. So on the second rank, yeah, Nikita decided to do that, and maybe rook d2 will be next. So what rook f2 is played by Maria. Everything very nice try. She's trying to exchange active pieces, so everything is okay. So Nikita is thinking, but what can he do right now? Not so easy to understand. So he has to exchange rooks, and everything will be over. Because black offers draw, but Maria, of course, will decline that. Yeah. So white offers draw. Wow. The game ended in a draw. Very gentleman decision, because our tournament is all over. The time is run out. So draw in the last game. And let's watch some results. Moscow Milan. Moscow Chess Club managed to earn 423 points, while Milan managed to score 137. The best players for today: AVK Artem Knyazov. Always he is a very good player. He shows us a very good chess. 40 points for him. Vdovin Georgi managed to bring Moscow chess team 36 points. And Khachaturian Marietta managed to bring Moscow chess team 32 points. So in Milan team, best players were Giulio Beretta, Giulio Rausa, and Pietro Balabio. They managed to score 14, 12, and 10 points. So very nice match we saw today. A lot of interesting games, and I believe that a very good game was for Khachaturian Marietta when she managed to win from defense. So very good match we saw today, and don't go anywhere because we'll have one more match for you. But our current match is all over, so our broadcast has come to an end. So my name is Pavel Voloshin, and stay healthy in these times, and see you on our next broadcast. Goodbye.